Hello, how you doing? Welcome back to some more F1 23 and another part of the Immersive Driver Career Mode with Alfa Romeo. Today we are back with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We are, of course, taking the actual race, sprint race last time. We had a decent time of things. We finished ahead of Valtteri Bottas, which is great. So we will be starting 16th for today's race. Obviously, you know, in the first few days of this game coming out, it's become very clear to me that it is a common issue across many people that the AI are a little bit fast on race day, perhaps a little bit slow on qualifying day. So with that in mind, we're going to give something a little go. I think going forward, I'm going to be upping the difficulty to about 97. 98 for qualifying to try and level out myself and Valtteri Bottas, but race day I'm actually going to pull it all the way down to 85 because I genuinely think that it needs to be that much. I am pushing as hard as I can in the race and we're still absolutely nowhere. I feel like that shouldn't be the case. You know, we should be at least able to compete with some of the midfield and at the very least our teammate. We've had very good starts to Grand Prix, but other than in Saudi Arabia, it has been really tricky on race day. So I'm going to pull that down to 85. We'll give it a go today. We'll see how it goes. We'll treat it as a bit of a trial. Worst case scenario, you know, we get into the bottom end of the points today and we try and balance it out. But I think we have to try something to make it enjoyable for everyone's sake until this is balanced out. So with that being said, let's get ourselves into the race and hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson, who'll take you through it. So here we go. Let's see how we get on.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Stroll, Norris, Magnussen, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Hulkenberg, the captain, Bottas, Tsunoda, De Vries, Sargent, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the Grand Prix. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way that you approach those roles?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They're two very different mindsets. In the old days, of course, they used to cover up to 15,000 kilometres of testing in a season, and that role would be more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as possible, so that the data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When lining up on the grid for a race, however, a race driver's frame of mind is all about what they can get out of the situation on that day, and the car is the tool to help them achieve those goals.
Okay, here we are then, down on the grid. There is a potential two-stop strategy. I don't think that's the way to go, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I don't think we do. We mustn't have any new medium tyres, must we? Which is why we're forced to go for hards. That's a bit of a shame, actually. Yeah, let's revert that. It looks okay, but yeah, it's going to be difficult. But I think lots of people are going to be in that same boat. I mean, potentially, what would this one look like if we were to swap the first stint for mediums? Yeah, we just don't. We don't have the stuff to do. So yeah, let's revert that. We'll go for the normal strategy, and yeah, let's get into the action. Here we go. Should have probably changed our gearbox, shouldn't we? Too late now.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip
There you
than
go,
that
that was,
but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
That was a very difficult pull away on the hard tyres. I mean, we're not going to have grip, but luckily towards the end of the Grand Prix we should do on those soft tyres. So I mean, we could have possibly started on softs and then went to hards, but as I said yesterday, I think it's worth going for an alternate strategy here.
No rain currently expected.
Come on, let them through. For goodness sake, Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's my favourite driver, but he's been a bit of a spoon there, really. Right. But yeah, we need to get a good amount of heat into these tyres. We need to make sure that we are in the best possible place for when lights go out. We know we've made some terrific starts this year, and we want that to continue, of course. And this time we'll be starting on the right-hand side of the grid, because we are 15th following Pierre Gasly's penalty, but I do feel like we are going to get some sort of safety car, potentially a red flag. Both of those things could happen today. But yeah, it's going to be intense. We're going to have to make sure we keep our nose clean, and certainly in these first few laps, getting into the rhythm again. That's going to be absolutely massive. We obviously really struggled to slow the car down yesterday. I'm going to up the brake bias a little bit, although let's just keep everything the same, because if we lock up again going into turn one, we were like a bowling ball yesterday. Well, luckily we didn't make any contact, or well, we made contact, we just didn't lose any bits of our car. Okay, here we are then, lining up on the grid for today. I think we want to aim slightly to the right. So, let's see. That's okay.
Good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts.
So, lights right in front of us. Here we go. Lights out, away we go here in Baku. It's a terrific start off the grid, and that's why we were aimed towards the right-hand side, because it was going to give us a nice, clear route. And what a start it is to this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Just need to make sure we don't make too much contact through here. And we are through, and that's okay. And we're up to 10th place. I mean, what a start that is once again. This season, our starts have been absolutely wonderful, and on the hard tyres, and now we can try and get into the rhythm of this race. And if we can stick with Kevin Magnussen, that'll be absolutely awesome. But up into the points we go, and it was just a very nice line that we took.
That start was okay. Now stay alert for threats around you.
I think Mark's a little bit harsh there. That start was okay. It was bloody brilliant, mate. Right. Let's make sure we are following Kevin Magnussen then. Well, there goes Kevin Magnussen. He's making a little move on Lance Stroll. Has he got enough speed to do it? He's going to have the inside line.
Top 10 now. Keep it up.
Going to be nervy into turn one, and they do make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And now, oh, going side by side into turn 2, but they're okay. It will give us a little opportunity, though, to get closer to Kevin Magnussen, who, again, is going to have a little look around the outside here of turn 3. And now we possibly have an opportunity down the inside of Lance Stroll here. Oh, we hit the curb, and that unsettled the car, but we are through.
Brilliant. Nice move.
That's a good manoeuvre, and we're now up to 9th position in this Grand Prix. 2 World Championship points as it stands. The problem is we've lost the back of Kevin Magnussen through that. And Stroll's going to have an excellent run with DRS on us from next lap. And here comes Lando Norris with DRS enabled, and he flies through into 9th place in the McLaren.
Position. Try to keep focus.
Now, hopefully we'll be able to stay within DRS range of Lando Norris. Goes Lance Stroll then. He's through as well, so we're now out of the points as it stands, but still battling away.
Okay, the underbody's
Well,
taken
Alex
some damage.
Albon
You might
making
start to
contact
notice it
with us
soon.
there. I mean, there's nothing we could have done there. That was just a pathetic manoeuvre. We gave him space. He just locked up and went into the side of us. So that's now us under a lot of pressure for the rest of this Grand Prix because we've got damage. Luckily, it doesn't seem to have affected us that badly. Touch wood. Okay, you join me on lap number 9. We're about to go on to Kevin Magnussen's just come in the pits,
Okay,
and there
so leading
goes
our teammate by 2.2
Esteban
seconds.
Ocon trying to get past. But we managed to stay in front of him, which is good. Sergio Perez not far in front of us on the hard tyres. We need to try and take these hard tyres a little bit longer.
The car ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
This is still not too bad, but we are pushing like crazy, which obviously brings up the risk of having an altercation with the wall. We don't want to do that right now. So quite a few people in the pit lane. I'm tempted to go for a bit of an overcut here. Fresher tyres come the end of the Grand Prix. Fernando tried to go down the inside. There wasn't any room there. They are meant to be coming into the pits this lap. Perhaps it is time. So here we go. We are going to be coming into the pits this lap. Well, we're in. Here we go. And we're in. Let's get these Tyres on,
Okay,
and we're away.
Back into the race. Perfect
Back ahead
job
of
on the
Fernando
turn in there,
Alonso.
mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Don't really
That
know
was our
how
last stop.
Fernando
No more
ended up
scheduled
behind
pit
us,
stops.
unless
Let's
he
go.
was on a two-stop. Obviously, that was an option that was considered. There is Ocon. He's managed to come out in front of us, but we're on the soft tyres here. Well, we are right behind Alex Albon now. Almost lost it through there, just because we're not used to the turbulent air. But now we're going to have DRS on Albon. And we're going to go down the inside.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
We are through. Very important manoeuvre. Now Albon was the one that, of course, made contact with us earlier in the race and gave us the damage. This is working out okay so far on these soft tyres, but the question is, will they last until the end of the race? But we didn't really have much option because, of course, we didn't have any medium tyres left. Well, we're within 1 second of Esteban Ocon here. We are going to get DRS. I don't think we're going to have quite enough to pass him on this straight, but it goes right the way in, which is nice. And we're building a lovely gap to Alex Albon as well, but if we can stay
Okay, we've got 4
reasonably
laps of fuel
close to
remaining.
Ocon over the next few laps, and we can strike perhaps on the last lap of the race. Might be the strategy here to, unless we feel we can get out of the 1 second window to Ocon, might be worth just staying behind and trying to go for a push on the final lap of the race, but we'll see. Well, this is going to be our opportunity to get past Esteban Ocon here. DRS wide open. Oh, Ocon came over to defend.
Okay,
Ocon.
keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 3.1 seconds.
So now we've got to try and push and catch Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll. We need to get that DRS protection. Already within 2 seconds of Kevin Magnussen. Well, we've got within 1 second of Magnussen. This is huge, because now we've got protection against Ocon, so we are very much set for our first points in Formula 1. We've got 2 laps to go here.
Yeah, so your teammate behind is 6.5
Just need to make sure we don't make any silly mistakes now.
And some information on
Well, Charles Leclerc
They're
is
retiring
out.
from the race.
And where is he?
Caution, caution.
Because it feels to me like he's in this castle section. Well, he is. He's gone down the escape road, so he's out. So that's another place gained, and that virtually guarantees us points now, because Bottas is the car behind Ocon, and he's 6 seconds down. So this is huge. We could potentially get as high as 8th here with the last
Okay,
lap.
we're looking at some gearbox wear, so
Oh,
try to
thank
keep
goodness.
the number of shifts to a minimum,
I
please.
thought that was going to be a mechanical failure, but we need to stay with Kevin Magnussen now for the final lap of the race, and this is going to be a great chance as we
Okay,
head
just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
up towards the DRS zone, and here we go. We're going to pass Kevin Magnussen going into the final
Okay,
lap
you just started the final lap of the race.
of
Final
this
lap.
Grand Prix, and we are up in 8th position. Let's see if we can hang on to this throughout the lap. We should be able to. It's been a perfectly executed strategy. We've looked after these soft tyres well If we have a look at them, yeah, just the 30% wear, which I think is pretty amazing, to be honest with you. We've not pushed too hard on them, we've just looked after them, kept the car in a straight line, and the car has worked beautifully on these soft tyres, so it felt like we were on the edge with the hard tyres, and you know, we're very much struggling to hold on to positions, but remember, all of this is with damage as well after the incident with Alex Albon earlier in this race. We've just got to get through the castle section one more time, a little lock up the hill, and that's going to give Kevin Magnussen a decent run on us up towards the final proper corner of this Grand Prix, and then it's that 1 kilometre long straight, but I don't think he'll have enough with the DRS to do it. But it's Lewis Hamilton that has won this Grand Prix. How on earth has that happened? Perhaps we will find out later on, but here we go. We are going to get our first points in Formula 1 as long as we make it through this section, and now it's the home straight. We're going to come over the line, and it's going to be 4 World Championship points. Our first points in Formula 1, and what a race to do it here in Baku. Come on.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
And so ends another Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fascinating race and a well-deserved victory. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners.
Well, there he is, Lewis Hamilton, back on the top step of the podium. That's pretty amazing, really, finishing ahead of Max Verstappen, and he wins for Mercedes, and George Russell up there as well, so Mercedes well and truly back, it would appear. Max Verstappen, he will be gutted.
Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, I think what we've learned, folks, is end the race on softer tyres, get the pain out of the way on the harder compound, end the race on softer tyres. You'll have quicker lap times towards the end, and you can see our lap time was actually the third quickest of the day, simply because we were on the softer compound. Max Verstappen in the end finished 5th. Unbelievable. I don't know what's happened to him today, but Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. Let's have a little look at the incidents. It was just Charles Leclerc's mechanical failure. Not a single warning for track limits for us today, which is pretty awesome, really. But yeah, we were one of the only people in the field that finished on the soft tyres. Lando Norris was another one. He had a very strong Grand Prix in the end. He managed to finish in, let's have a look. He managed to finish in 6th, which, you know, that McLaren has no right of being up there. Fastest lap as well, so it shows that was the way to go. He very nearly got Max Verstappen over the line too, which is pretty nuts, to be honest with you. But yeah, we finish in 8th position in the end. We get 4 World Championship points, and that is an absolute cracker. Pardon me. Goodness me. What a Grand Prix. And I'm really pleased with it. Okay, let's continue on and see what effect that has on everything. But there you go, over our rival Kevin Magnussen. We finished the race ahead of him, which is awesome, and it's 5-5 as it stands. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, heading back to the career menu then. And there it is, plenty of upgrades coming in as well. We've got the chassis department asking questions, but look at that. We have got to be really, really pleased. We've upgraded the car. We're now very much on a par with Williams and Haas, just behind McLaren as well. Hopefully we can get some more of those upgrades pumping for the next few Grand Prix. Of course, we've got Miami Grand Prix coming up next time out. We're just going to change that gearbox there. Then Imola, looking forward to that one. Monaco, obviously one that we struggle at a lot generally. Then Spain, Canada, Austria. That's a run of Grand Prix that I'm really strong at. So looking forward to it, actually, and hopefully we can pull it off. I'm just going to change the difficulty up to 98 to make sure that we're in the right place going into the next qualifying session, and then we'll move it back to 85. I think that was about right, to be honest with you. We were losing pace on the hard tyre, but on the soft tyre we managed to make our advantage stick, and yeah, really, really pleased with that. But hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.